Hello Skyloftians, we did it. We made it through our first silent realm. We then climbed a tree and then we found a lake. We jumped into the lake and we learned how to swim. The very best mechanic of this game. I hate swimming. And then we found Farron and Farron needed water. So we got her water, Farron drank the water, and then Farron opened up our next dungeon, which is the Ancient Cistern. The first thing we're going to do, which isn't necessary, is to go left and cut some grass. Because we're Link and we like to cut grass. When you jump across these platforms, you're going to read this. It's going to say, carved into the great statue are inscriptions of gratitude. They reveal the secret order of this temple. So we need to find the secret order of this temple. First the back, then the rear, then back of the right hand, then finally back of the left hand. So let's look at the back, the rear, the back of the right hand, and then the back of the left hand. If you couldn't tell, the statue is a person. So we're going to look at the back, the rear, and the back of the hands. So the first place I'm going to go here in this video is to go look in the statue's rear. As you can see, the blue is at the bottom of this cross. Then we need to look at this hand, the back of the hand. We can go under it, or we can get stuck and get caught like that. But we can try to get the rupee. The way we're going to get the rupee is like this. We get close and spin. Just kidding, that's me getting caught. But that's how you do it. Get close to it and then spin. Just like that. Now we see the back of the hand, that's the right hand, and the blue is to the right of the cross. Now we're going to look at the other hand and do the same thing. And as you can see, the back of the hand, the blue marker is on the right of the cross. We're going to go up these stairs just in case, just so we can see the back of the statue. As you can see from the back, the blue is on the top of the cross. So the back, the rear, the right hand, and the left hand. So that means the order is the top, the bottom, left, and then right. So we're going to follow through, open the switch, get through into this room. As you drop down, you'll notice that these little pads will turn around when you drop on top of them. We'll keep that in mind for later. We're going to defeat these spiders. And then when we go in this room, we're going to read this, and it says, strike the gemstones pointing in the 4 directions wisely. The way will only open for the one who knows the temple's secret order. But we know that order, and that order is the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. And yay, the door's open. In this room, you'll find some pads and then some spiders. So let's defeat the spiders first, just so they're not in the way. Let's climb up these vines. And then we're going to drop down, and you'll notice this flips over this pad, and look, there's a red rupee inside. Hey, maybe there's other things like that. Oh look, there is one over there. You'll notice that there's some green rupees. This kind of leads you into this room just to tell you that there's another room like this, or another hallway or vent. And then we're going to climb up these vines, flip this lily pad thing, and open that one. And we're going to go inside. Get the rupee, spin to break the wood, and then continue through. And in this room, there is a treasure chest with a key. Oh, we needed that key. Hey, we're back in this room again. We're going to go up this thing. Defeat the Baba. And we're back in the beginning. You can save your game if you want. But now that we have the key, we can enter that middle room that we saw earlier. There's not much to do in this room. They're showing you that it's really long and tall. And that you need a key. The boss key's there. You jump down and oh no, it's a skeleton. You know how to defeat these, right? So as you can see, they will defend themselves with the sword in a specific direction. So you have to swing your sword away from their sword. Or you can shield when they attack. When you shield when they attack, it'll drop their arms. Also watch out for this little charge attack. When you see them charging, make sure you block. Phase 2, it'll take out 2 other swords. It's the same process. Swing away from the swords or block when he swings at you. When he charges attack, you know he's going to swing, so you could shield then. You can poke in the middle when he does the big cross thing though. After you defeat him, you go into this room. And now we have our dungeon item, the whip. We're going to use this whip to turn on the water. And then we're going to go into water to go all the way up. We're going to do it again, continue all the way up. You can do it one more time. Let's do it one more time just so you can see what's all the way up here. This just basically shows you that you need the key here. So we're going to go back down. We're gonna go through this door because we haven't gone through this door before. And look, we're all the way up here. But this is just the same room as before. But there must be something you could do here. Probably not. It's just an exit. So we're leaving. We're gonna save the game. Now that we save the game and we got a whip, there must be another place we haven't gone yet. And yes, you're correct. It's up these steps to the right side, past the first room. Use the whip to swing across. And there's a treasure chest here. It's the dungeon map. When these birds come attack you, they'll drop their tail, swing at the tail with a whip, and then you can do the stabby thing. So you can't go to that cage room yet, but when you look at the map, you'll see another room that's connected to this first room. Also, we have a whip, so that must mean we have a way to get through somehow. So we're gonna jump down into the water, and as we swim, you'll see that there's a hole under the waterfall. But how do we open it? There's a switch. Use the whip to turn around this lily pad, so that way we can jump across and use the whip to open this switch. That'll stop the waterfall, and now we can swim in this fish's mouth. Defeat the spider. Go behind this fish's mouth because there's a treasure chest here. But how do we open the gate? If we look through the gate, we'll find a switch. Guess what we can use to open this switch? You are right. It is the whip. Make sure you swing it vertically though. In this room, you'll notice to the left there are some butterflies. You know what that means. Of course, like always, we're gonna get some rupees. Let's make our way to the other side and we're gonna climb up. Defeat these bokos. We're gonna swing across, climb up, defeat the babas. Continue climbing up this circly thing. Don't fall because you have to start over if you do. That's just to gain some stamina. Then you go back down here, defeat this boko. You're going to jump down and you'll notice that you can't get that. So what do? Of course, we have a whip. We're going to use the whip, but the vines are too high. So what are we going to do? We're going to swing down. But of course, let's defeat this little spider first. In this room, there are some babas and a little switch that you need to use the whip for. So we're going to use the whip and we're going to drain some water. And I don't know why this looks like a good idea, but we're going to jump into the water. As we make our way into this room, you'll notice some spiders. Hey, look, you can save your game. So that's what we're going to do. All right, let's defeat these spiders and let's make our way to the next room. Hey, look, this spider helped us. Now that this is open, of course, we're going to make it through here. When we come up, we're going to be stuck and we need a key to open this door. Hey, but the bokoblin has a key. So let's use the whip to grab the key. We're going to stun him so he doesn't shoot us. Open the door, and then we're going to defeat him. But wait, when you look through this cage, you're going to see a room that looks very dark. What room is this? I guess we'll find out later. There's a treasure chest there, and we might need that. I don't know why this looks like a good idea, but we're going to swim into this drain hole. And we're going to swim out of this fish's mouth into a new room. When you jump on this lily pad, you'll see that there's a hole under it, so we do need to get into that hole somehow. When we climb across, we're going to pull this switch, and now this connects to the room for the beginning of the game. You can save the game if you'd like. This is just a shortcut to get here for next time. Now in this room, we're going to go to the side over here, cut some grass because we're Link and that's what we do. When we flip over this pad, we can climb up this. We'll make our way across, defeat a baba. And jumping down, we'll flip over the lily pad. That way we can go into that hole with the red rupee. Grab the rupee and follow along. When we get out, we'll find some stairs. We're going to climb up, and now we're on this top floor, but in the same room. And there's a switch that you need the whip for. Let's use the whip and pull the switch. The switch will cause the water to rise in the middle of the room, so we need to jump across. We're going to jump down, and we need to get up there. So follow along the path again. Climb up the lily pad, climb all the way up the vines. But we do need to flip this lily pad over to jump across. Of course, use the whip, and let's follow through along the path. After we open this gate, we're back in the main room, but we're on the other side that we couldn't reach before. Defeat the bird if they try to attack you, and then follow the path, climbing along the vines. Go all the way to the bottom. There is a treasure chest here, if you want it. After you get the treasure chest, make your way across the vines. You need to do some tricky vine climbing. Pull the switch, and all this does is it allows a shortcut to come up here if you need to get here from the beginning of the game. Now when we pull this lever, the statue will lower, but then the treasure chest is covered. We'll figure that out later. Now because of this, we're going to make our way to the center room from the entrance of the dungeon. Once we get into this room, all you have to do is jump all the way down, and now we are in the basement. The very scary basement. As you can see here, I do have the treasure medal. This will help enemies drop items more often, and we're going to try to get some items from this cursed bokoblin. They do move very slow, but we want to try to gather them all together, and then we start swinging at them. They are afraid of the goddess shield, so they'll back up if you show them the shield, but otherwise they'll keep attacking you. The best way to defeat them is to swing hard and then do the jumping attack. Well, they didn't drop anything. But anyway, I'll show you later. After you defeat them, you can use the beetle to go into the eyes of this thing and then grab the rupees and hearts if you'd like. Follow along the path, defeat more cursed bokoblins, then make your way into this cave. There are some fire keys. Defeat them. Hopefully get some items. You'll see butterflies here, so you can grab them. And guess what the butterflies indicate? Yep, that's right. That means more rupees. Following down the path, this says that the gemstone shines deep within the eye. Strike it to shut the mouth and the dam flow. So that means there's some kind of stone in someone's eyes. So when we leave, jump across these pads. Of course, flip the last one. Jump to the other side. You'll see this thing. It has eyes. So guess what we're going to do? Shoot a beetle in its eye. Yep, you guessed it. There's a gemstone. It stops the dam flow. Now we continue across. We do need a bomb to break this. You could throw it, but I'm doing the beetle thing. I feel like it's faster. Use the whip to jump across and just follow the path. Climb, jump, climb, jump, climb, jump. You do need to flip this switch. This just makes the thing spin the other way. Remember, don't fall into nowhere because that's not good. Also, good advice, don't do it 2 times. Alright, now it looks like I'm doing it on purpose, but don't do it for a 3rd time. Okay, finally, jump down and then continue down the path. Yay, we got an item. And keep following along, defeating some cursed bokoblins, jumping and climbing some more. Then you need to climb up here to do the switch again. The reason being is so that climbing pillar can spin the other way. Now that it's spinning the other way, you can continue down the path through the other side. There are some keys. Always try to defeat them towards the wall just in case they drop some items. And when you jump down, this room looks very interesting. But before we go climb that, we're going to do this switch here. This allows water to come up, so that way you can come up here from the beginning. This is basically the beginning of the room. Now for this part, you're going to climb the rope and basically try to make it out before all these cursed bokoblins come get you. Oh no. But what you could do is drop, defeat some bokoblins, and hopefully you'll get some evil crystals. This is why it would be nice to have the treasure medal. Because now when you try to climb again, the cursed bokoblins will come up again. So again, you can drop again, defeat more cursed bokoblins. And you can do this as much as you want until you get as many evil crystals as you'd like. I do have a short explaining a trick and how to do this as fast as possible. Check the card in the corner or the link in the description. As a side note, if you want to collect the evil crystals doing it this way, this is the only time you do it. After you leave this room, they won't come up from the ground again, even if you come back to this room. But after you've done this as much as you want, just climb up the rope, keep climbing. Hopefully you won't get caught. Oh no, but if you do, you can just keep shaking the Joy-Cons and then you can break free. When you climb all the way to the top, you'll make it back again to the main room. But why are we here now? Because this statue says to return the giant back to its original form, then go back down to earth again. This way you can get that treasure that was under the statue. We're going to do that by first pulling the switch, and now we can pull this lever again to bring the statue back up. And then we go back in the hole, and then make your way back to the beginning of this basement, and you'll see the treasure chest in the middle under the statue. But after you get the key, the statue will start to come down, and cursed bokoblins will attack you. This isn't really such a big problem. Just climb up. If you get caught, you will be defeated. And get game over. This is me just showing you what happens if you get stuck. But anyway, let's go try this again. I placed this bomb here hoping I can get some items, but I guess I got nothing. Anyway, the statue will go down and crush all the cursed bokoblins. And that's about it. We have the boss key. What do they call it now? Go into this room, and then you're going to climb the water all the way to the very top, and then you could use the key. And yep, you're guessing it right. There's probably a boss coming up. Anyway, as you can see this key, it's a flower. So turn it upside down where you can see the little circle, and then twist it as much as you need to. And then you're going to complete the flower. And make your way up the stairs because something is going to happen. Once you get to the very top, you do need to use your whip to pull these switches. And then the statue reveals that it has a really long neck. Now that you're on this top floor, there are some hearts around the room, and of course, saving your game is probably a good idea. Up the steps, and then we have a little cutscene. Guess who's here? You guessed it, it's Girahim. He says you're persistent, he's trying to find clues, but he's leaving because he wants to make you fight the boss. Welcome to arguably one of the best bosses of all Zelda games, Koloktos. Alright, well, Koloktos will swing his hand at you, just like that, and it'll hit the ground. Look, there's an arrow pointing of what you probably have to do. Like most Zelda games, you use the item that you got in the dungeon. If you go too far, Koloktos will throw these spinning axe, double axe things at you. Go close enough to where he can swing his hand, and then use the whip to break the hand. When you break two hands, he'll open his chest, revealing this red spot. Of course, you have to attack the red spot. If you get too close, watch out for the double axe swing. But again, just wait till he opens his hands again, and keep attacking it. Now there's a chance too, if you're far enough, he will try to swing you with both hands. Of course you can use a shield, but if he uses his hands to hit the ground, you can actually break these hands also. So use your whip to break those hands. Now he's not completely defenseless, but his chest is open, so keep swinging the sword into the red ball. After a bit, of course, they can't make it too easy. He will bring his arms back to him again. And then just continue the same strategy. Use the whip to break the arms until he opens his chest, and then continue to hit the chest. But if he collects his double axes, prepare to dodge it or block it. Charging a Skyward Strike does a little extra damage, so that's always a good idea. Eventually, you'll reach the next phase. And in the second phase, Koloktos will grab some legs. There'll be a cage around its heart, and now it has 6 swords. For this part, you just avoid him. He'll do some swinging attack. As you can see here, there are arrows pointing to his arms, so that means we can do something with that. Of course, it's probably to use the whip. Just so you know, it can swing into these columns or pillars, and if they break, there'll be some hearts, so you can use it to grab some hearts if needed. So like I said, you do need to use the whip to break the arms, and the game does focus on the swords. But why? Oh, that's because you can pick them up. So what you do with the swords is you can break the arms with the swords, but you don't need to do that right away. But what you really need to do is break its legs. But before you break its legs, it will try to charge at you and get dizzy if it hits something. So break the legs, and then continue to use it to break the cage, and then continue to attack the red circle in its chest. And that's basically what you have to do for phase 2. Run away to not get hit. It will do this continuous swinging attack. Sometimes Koloktos can also summon some cursed bokoblins. Just defeat them if he does. Then again, wait till it does the swinging 3-arm sword thing. Use the whip to break the arms. And if you're fast enough, you can grab the sword and break its legs right away. And of course, attack the red stomach, and then continue this process. Just remember, you want to be close enough to make Koloktos swing its 3 arms. And then you break an arm, grab the sword, break the cage, and break its heart. Congratulations, Koloktos is defeated, and you've completed this dungeon. Like always, there's a heart container. You can use these swords to break the columns. I probably should have said that earlier if you need hearts. When you make way to the next room, of course, you have to use a Skyward Strike on this crest, and then you'll get the flame that attaches to the sword, making your sword hit twice as much. Link will look at his hand, Fee will come out and tell you that you need to go back to the Isle of Songs. When you leave, Farron's outside and says, "Hey, that's not the sword you had before. You must be the goddess's chosen hero." Well, it doesn't matter if you're not. You gotta train. I'll see you next time. That's basically what Farron said. And while you're out here, you can get some items if you swim around, use the net, get some bugs. And that's all for the Ancient Cistern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. Congratulations, and I'll see you next time.